Hi everyone, I'm Ethan Hollander. I'm a professor at Wabash College in Crawfordsville, Indiana. I know there's a picture of our campus. Our campus, like most of the campuses you hear about today, is really quite beautiful. A lot of you might be asking yourselves, I mean, the United States and China are not exactly around the corner from one another. This is a really far way to go. So why would you get on a plane from China and then fly like clear across the ocean just to go to college in the United States? Well, one reason you might do that is to find yourself in a place like Wabash College. It really is an exceptional place, and it's a unique place in more ways than one, as I think you'll find out right now. So Crawfordsville, Indiana is located conveniently not too far from Chicago or Indianapolis. You know the great city of Chicago. Indianapolis may be a little smaller by Chinese standards. It's actually quite a big city too by American standards. But you might know of that too because it's the home of the Indianapolis 500. So there you have Wabash College, right in the heart of it all, right in between these great American cities, but still also a rural campus in Indiana. Wabash College is run by a very basic mission statement. That mission statement says that Wabash College educates men to think critically, act responsibly, lead effectively, and live humanely. What I want to do today is actually go over... I want to go through each of those things in turn, but before I do that, I want to talk a little bit about this thing, men. Wabash College is a college for men, sort of like Barnard College. It's one of the few remaining single-sex institutions in the United States, but it's all for men, as opposed to Barnard, which is all for women. So if you're a young woman in the audience, I encourage you to choose from any of these other wonderful colleges there. If you're a young man, though, you actually have the opportunity to go to Wabash. Now, a few things about that. You may be asking yourselves, like, why would I go to a liberal arts college for men? For men? Well, studies actually demonstrate that single-sex education can be an enriching experience, and in some ways a superior experience if you're the right kind of person for it. Keep in mind, though, that Wabash College is not an all-male institution, right? We have women on the faculty, we have women on the staff, we have women in the surrounding colleges and so on, right? A number of colleges, these are just a few, within a very short distance drive from Wabash College. So as at Barnard, you're not entering a single-sex environment that's like a monastery or something, right? You're entering a community where your classes are all male, but the environment is not. So Wabash is integrated with that larger community around it. And it's not unusual, for example, for us to have concerts like this one, where women from neighboring colleges take place in our activities, where we do activities at the neighboring colleges and so on. Our libraries are actually integrated with those colleges and things like that. So it really is an integrated community, and that's something to keep in mind. And, you know, a lot of you may be asking yourselves, well, would I really find college to be an enriching experience if it was an all-male institution? Well, a survey was done that asked students this very question, and under 40% of students in America considered their college experience to be an enriching one. At Wabash College, that number was over 63%. So clearly, the men who go to Wabash don't seem to suffer from the experience, right? They leave college, they find college to have been an enriching experience, and hopefully you're the kind of person who would as well. So I want to talk about these things in turn. What does it mean to think critically, act responsibly, lead effectively, and live humanely? Well, thinking critically means thinking for yourself, right? Wabash College trains you to do that because you'll be working very closely with professors, doing original research with professors, right? We don't have graduate students, like most of the colleges you'll hear about today. And so when professors are doing very sophisticated research projects, you as an undergraduate student, you're their priority. And you'll work with them. And it's not unusual for students to work in laboratories with their professors, to go to conferences with their professors, to do original research and to publish with their professors. A very unique kind of experience that doesn't happen at a lot of larger institutions in the country. And the idea is that you'll be doing this original research as an undergraduate student. Think of how much more prepared you will be to do that kind of stuff when you're a graduate student somewhere else. And the idea, of course, is to train you to think critically and to do these things for yourself. And that's the kind of place that Wabash is. Okay, it's no mistake then, I think, that 1 in 8 students, 1 in 8 graduates of Wabash is the CEO or president of a company, right? I think businesses appreciate those kinds of leadership skills, that kind of critical thinking that we train young men to do at Wabash. 85% of our students who apply to medical school get in, and 75% attend some kind of graduate study within 5 years. All right, so that's what thinking critically is. What does it mean to act responsibly? Well, at Wabash College, well, you'll find it at a lot of other colleges that you might go to, that these colleges will just load you down with a whole bunch of rules, right? You'll arrive, and they'll say, look, this is what you can do, this is what you can't do, this is what you have to do, and there's a whole list of all these rules, and it's very overwhelming in part. At Wabash College, we sweep all of that away, and we replace it with one rule, which is that a Wabash man will act as a gentleman and a responsible citizen at all times. The idea, of course, is that if we treat students as the young adults that they are, they'll act as the young adults that they are. And they won't need a whole list of rules telling them when they can do this or that particular thing. If they understand that they're supposed to act as a gentleman or responsible citizen, that's enough. And what we find is that students rise to that challenge, right? At Wabash College, again, you'll work on the very same sophisticated equipment that your professors work on. This isn't something that's reserved for the professors or for the high-level graduate students that you might just hear about, right? This is something that you'll actually have your hands on, and that kind of experience really leads you to think critically, to lead effectively, and so on. And it's the kind of thing that you can do because you're trained to act responsibly. All right, acting responsibly. What does it mean to lead effectively? Well, at Wabash College, almost every student participates in some sort of extracurricular activity, be it a sport or music or drama or the school newspaper or a political organization or whatever it is. The idea is that by participating in these things as a student, you're all the more prepared to be a leader in the real world. Why? Well, because yesterday's captain of the football team is tomorrow's CEO, right? As a football team captain, you have that experience organizing people, you have that experience leading things and so on. And so when you enter the real world, you're already prepared to do those sorts of things. Yesterday's actor in a school play is tomorrow's director of a blockbuster film. And so I think this is the kind of thing that employers love, right? Employers aren't necessarily looking for somebody skilled in this or that very particular skill. They're looking for somebody who's a leader, right? Somebody who knows how to organize people, somebody who knows how to lead things, to be a self-starter and so on. And I think that's why you see the Wabash College graduates taking the positions that they do. And I think it's also then no mistake that just last year, Forbes magazine ranked Wabash College 12, right? In much the same way that the students at Wabash become leaders, Wabash College has become a leader amongst all liberal arts colleges. Now I show this to you also to say that you may not have heard of Wabash College before today. You may go home and tell your parents, hey, I want to go to Wabash College, and they'll say, where? But sort of keep in mind that in the United States, this is a place that's known, sort of like all the colleges that you'll hear about today. In the United States, when you've got a graduate degree from any of these places, and you go in the real world and you apply to graduate school, or you're looking for a job, employers, graduate schools, they've heard of these places, and that's ultimately what matters. All right, and so that's what it is to lead effectively. What does it mean to live humanely? Well, that part is up to you, right? When you finish with a degree at Wabash College, we'll have trained you to think critically, to act responsibly, to lead effectively, and to live humanely. And so then it's up to you to get back on that plane, go across the ocean, go back to China, go somewhere else in the United States, anywhere else in the world, and you'll be trained to do those things, and you'll be ready to make the world a better place. A few things to remember. Apply early for priority consideration. We have generous financial aid, but we've got more of it left early on in the season, so if you apply before December 1st, that's going to be better for everybody. Fill out an application request card. I've got those things in my bag. And then finally, visit the website, www.wabash.com. Thanks. I hope to meet you guys soon. Oh, .edu, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, .edu. We do produce a lot of business majors, but we're still edu. Yeah, thanks. You know, one of the organizers of this event was a Wabash grad, too, so